Howdy folks, I've always talked about, selling stuff on Etsy, 3D printing it, whatever. And these are some examples of things that maybe you shouldn't do on Etsy, And I used this just the other day for an example because it was something that you could just download from Thingiverse, and I don't think you'd sell too many of those. You could make them bigger or something, and maybe you might get some kind of, might get some interest in it. But the reason I wanted to focus on this was a couple of things. I've had some interesting conversations the past week with another fella about, not everybody is, I think, succeeding with 3D printing. And you know what? Not everybody is. And so what he said was kind of like, yeah, it's true, but it doesn't apply to everyone. In fact, right now, you can probably hear in the background, yes, my 3D printers are running. We are, like I have been for several weeks now, I've been really behind so badly that last night I had to run some stuff off through the night so that we could package this morning and ship, and that's not where I want to be. When it comes to things like Etsy, I like to have pieces, like 5 or 6 pieces in stock of each item, and that way we can just bag them and put the label on and ship it. And unfortunately, we've sort of fallen behind for a bunch of reasons. It just one thing was, and again, this is where some shock comes to viewers, I got swamped. It's like but let's talk about some of this craziness. One of the statements that was made a few weeks ago was something about how you can't really make any money selling on Etsy, or, well, if you're selling 3D stuff, nobody's going to buy it or something. There was just a lot of negativity. And last year, there was a young kid, and I'd mentioned it before, he put 100 things on Etsy, and over a period of 1 full year, he sold nothing. He didn't even get his relatives to buy from him, so yeah, that's not good. In contrast to that situation, and just to help you guys out a little bit, there's a fellow that has, he's on YouTube. In fact, he calls himself, I think he calls Print Farm Academy is the particular one I watch sometimes with him. But originally, he started a store on Etsy. Originally, he now has a Shopify, and I think he's into Amazon and all that sort of thing. But he started back there on Etsy, and when he said he was doing really well, Etsy is kind of easy to check out if you see a seller like that and you know what his store is. And I did. I went to the Etsy store and took a look. They have a history of how many sales they've had, and I looked that up. And of course, it showed immediately to me that he had already done well over $100,000 in 3D printing. So it was like, wow, I'd say he's doing okay. Yeah. And this was years ago. I haven't really been keeping track of him, but I do know that he has changed his business model over the years. And he has a lot of this download printable stuff that you can get from his channels at Etsy for like drawings for building a really nice work table, stuff like that sort of thing. I don't know how much 3D modeling stuff he sells on there anymore because he went into a Shopify, his own store, and since then he's also, from what I understand, gone over to some kind of an account with Amazon to sell his products. Now his early products, and I don't know, this was not his first product, but one of his early products which really bloomed crazy was these dust collector attachments that you could put on your chop saws, and he was selling them right around $50 a piece, which was like perfect, way to go, good price. That was a good idea because I see so many sellers try to make that and sell it for $20 or even less. And when you pay Etsy fees and shipping fees and what have you, and take a look at what it costs you to do your shipping labels and drive to a shipping store, post office, whatever, if you add it all up, if you're selling those for like $20, you're losing money. You're paying to be online selling that stuff. You're not making any money. Hey, another channel that you could check out is Mountain Maker. He has a YouTube channel, but he sells on Etsy, and I think he also sells he has an Amazon account. And also with Mountain Maker, he did something that kind of is pretty sensitive, but right back at the beginning of this year, he showed his total year, the year before, is what he made, his sales, how much he spent on advertising, that sort of thing. he did a very big, wide open, business model of here's what I did, and I got to admit that was pretty exposing, but it was like, I felt sorry for him because he spent a lot of money on advertising. I made at least as much as he did. I spent zero on advertising, so I was like, well, my business model looks pretty good right now. Maybe if I'd advertised, I would have done better. I don't really know. We'll never know now. I did make a comment this past week to somebody, and it was more than truthful. YouTube doesn't pay very good these days. In fact, they've really cut down the old paycheck there over the years. And right now, 3D printing, as I am doing it, it pays 10 times what YouTube pays me. Yeah. So putting these videos out is fun, and it's okay with me, and I do like it, and try to keep everybody up to date on whatever's going on around the shop or something. But as far as making money goes, the 3D printing farm is doing freaking awesome. I'm really amazed and I'm really shocked, and at the same time I know that there is a million other products out there that we could be making and selling. The YouTube situation, unless you're Mr. Beast or something, doing with I don't know how many, he's got billions of subscribers now. I have no idea where he's at. And somebody like that, okay, he's getting some pretty nice paychecks every week. But the 3D printing for sales wise, it's there. It is out there. All we gotta do is get on it, kind of thing. Earlier this week I talked about the stages of 3D print farming, and I guess some people probably may have missed some of the weirder points about it, but you can also get contract work with certain factories and companies in the area that need prototyping, and a lot of times that pays better than marketing this stuff online or something. But it's just another, like I said, there's many different roads to 3D print farming. There's a lot of different areas. Also, you don't have to have 100 machines. I only have, I think it was 7 or 8 machines here right now. We've been up as high as 17. We've been as low as I think 3 at one time, and it's been up and down depending on what machine I buy and replace and take offline or whatever. In fact, I need to give away a machine right now. I'm still trying to figure out how to give it away because nobody seems to locally even want it. It's the Longer LK5 Pro. I'm done with it. It's too old. It's too obsolete. It's a bed slinger. It needs to go out of here. I'm hoping that I'll find somebody, that maybe a young kid that is excited about the idea. Maybe he can't have one, so I'll say, you know what? Here, kid. Yes, you can have one. The other aspect of all of this is that there's a lot of selling going on even now, and you can develop into Amazon. Imagine having your own Amazon store and selling on Amazon and supplying clients or whatever. That's freaking amazing. I think it's amazing. Anyways, the Shopify thing, I was trying to remember Print Academy. He has a Shopify store. It's a real simple name, and I cannot remember it. Help me out. Comment below. I don't know. It's not going to do you any good to comment below because the film's already been made. Yeah, darn. But he has a really good Shopify store, and he has, I think, about 50 or maybe plus 50 items on there for sale all the time. But his 3D printing farm is huge. And I haven't seen a lot of it lately. He's been at home a lot building a shop for whatever it is he's doing. The commercial building that he rented with all the machines he's put in there, I haven't heard much about what's going on there. I assume he's still developing process and more product or whatever. I believe he is, but I haven't seen much of that information floating around at all. So I'm really wondering where all that's headed. That's something that I had considered in the near future, if I had to, was to actually rent some commercial space and set these 3D printers up, rack them up in a commercial atmosphere and just get really, going on it, kind of thing, because it's just been that good, and I really do. I like it. I love 3D printing. Matter of fact, let's get this desk cleaned off. Oh, that's a lot better. Yeah, wowee. Oh, don't you hate clutter? Yeah. There is a lot of successful things going on with 3D printing. In fact, this morning, and when I was doing some exploration on certain people and topics involving the selling online, I'm really surprised. A lot of people, including that Shop Nation, apparently it looks like he has pretty much left Etsy. And so Etsy was like a stepping stone, and like I have said in the past, for selling, I would go to Etsy first, just start there. Where you go after that, you know, the sky's the limit kind of thing. And this fellow looks like he has gone over to Amazon and Shopify and that kind of thing. It really has concentrated really well on his own website, where he is his own store. You know, he's selling from there. And kudos, all the, you know, and all the power in the world to you. Have at it. And I think it's terrific that somebody can do something like that. But I think my point earlier this week was trying to get everybody on board with, you know, if you're interested, yes, you can do it. You know, you're going to have to find your way to, you know, through a few things, but, you know, come up with, like I said, I think Monday or Tuesday, I had mentioned, you know, coming up with 5 or 6, whatever, maybe 5 good ideas. We had a good idea just a couple of months ago, and we worked on it here and shipped the part over to Phoenix, Arizona. Had checked it, had it sent back, went back and forth a few times, and this went on for a couple of months. Now we're finished with it, but it has opened the door for 3 more products that will be sold from, you know, from my lines. So, you know, I'm constantly sort of changing product, but also increasing the products that I have that sell. There's a number of products that I tried that don't sell. And in fact, some of them are mostly, and I'll just give you a hint here. If you do like gaming stuff, like that Dice Dragon Tower thing, I didn't find that stuff sells well on Etsy or anywhere else. It seems like it's a very sluggish kind of thing. Functional parts that people need for things like the guy that did the dust collectors for the tooling for his chop saws and stuff, that sort of thing seems to sell because it's a very useful, you know, it's something that, you know, that we want, you know, kind of thing as woodworkers or anything like that. And I think if you can, you know, find a gamut or a tooling in a car, say, where everybody has a car, but boy, they could use this or something, and I could 3D print it. Wow, you know, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Hey, thanks for watching, checking in on us. Coffee and tools, and we're still working on moving. I don't know. The deal fell through, so we're still here. Yeah, be here for, I don't know, a little bit longer. Can't pack just yet, you know. Yeah, over and out.